Howdy, howdy. Before I start, I wanted to show you guys something that I got a hold of today. I thought y'all would appreciate. Mag Dump, nothing, just so you guys know. Ruger SR22. I know it's a 22, but uh, we've got other ones, bigger ones, whatever. Um, Cerakoted. I've never seen one like this. I'm sure they're out there, but I actually got a deal on it. It was very, very, very slightly used. Uh, the lady didn't like the trigger action on it. No joke. Traded it in on a Walther 380. I used to have a Walther 380. Good gun. Did a whole mag dump to kill one copperhead. Yeah, I know this isn't a whole lot more lethal, but still. I've got other guns, so it's okay. This would make a nice little concealed carry. But, and dude, I mean, look at it. That is just sick. So, Um, with the case, extra mag, extra grips, everything. Everything included with it. I don't think she even shot it. If she did, it was like the 10 rounds in one magazine. It does have the extended base plate. So, yeah, can't beat it. I noticed that it has it's a metal trigger, not plastic like some of these. And it's got the ridges on the hammer there. So that when it's up, it's easier to get a hold of. And I did not know this, but once I got home, I disassembled it, and the barrel and chamber are permanently, well, not permanently, they're bolted, but they're bolted into the lower on here. I've never seen anything like that on a semi-auto. I guess I haven't been out and about with them lately, but like my mechanic, the barrel tilts back with every round, like your John Brown in design, basically. This gun, the barrel stays true, like a bolt action or like a rifle or something. So I'm expecting some insane accuracy with this thing. And it's got target sights. Absolutely love it. Um, I think adjustable front sight. But yeah, adjustable rear rail and everything. And it's recessed. So yeah, it's awesome. I'm excited. I haven't shot it yet, but yeah, it's gonna be nice. Now, to the meat and potatoes. Um, and this is gonna be self reflection for a lot of y'all. Y'all need to not get mad at me, but Republicans deserved to lose this go round at the midterms. And by that I mean as a learning experience because y'all didn't try, man. Y'all didn't try during the last presidential election. You Ballot harvesting is illegal. It's legal. So if it is illegal in your state, you need to be doing it. There's nothing wrong with going out and going, hey, vote for this guy, this is why. They're doing it. You're not doing it. Why? And for once, I feel like I get to say that. I got hired, officially hired, contracted out and everything to go up with the Freedom Caucus all the way up in New Hampshire, and didn't get to go because the same week the water pump in the Baja started taking a leak. A few days later, I started taking the truck apart. Go ahead and do the timing set with it. My wife's radiator split. I couldn't just leave, for 3 or 4 weeks. But they were up there doing it. They were doing canvassing. That's what I was going to be doing. They had a canvasser in Florida attacked and almost beaten to death. I get it, you know, but Florida is a carry state. Here, where I live, it's a carry state. So, people, my own family warned me, you don't need to be going up there. It could be dangerous. And I'm like, they're the live free or die state. And we all should be. So, and especially in a state with rights to self defense, I mean, get up there and get people out to vote. Do it. If y'all don't do it, if y'all don't learn the game, it's not cheating, it's just effort. It's effort. You can't just run. They're depending on ignorance and easy votes. Hey, did you fill out your ballot yet? Do this, or they'll get rid of your Social Security. It's that easy. You go in there, you do the opposite. Hey, did you know that Biden signed a law in that if you sell some stuff on Facebook Marketplace and use Cash App or PayPal or at a garage sale, they're going to charge you taxes at the end of the year. That sucks, doesn't it? Yep, well, here's how we register you to vote. Oh, you're registered? Well, here's a mail in ballot. Learn to play the game. It's legal. Do it. I mean, it doesn't take dumping millions of dollars into a campaign. Hey, y'all had that. The Democrats were funding y'all's campaign for MAGA, Republicans, so that they could discredit them later. I know how the game's played. That's fine. They didn't think they'd win. Some of them did. Whoops. Whoops for the Democrats. But not all of them did. And not all of the moderates did either, because we're not making the effort. Now, second point that I want to make tonight is y'all aren't reaching out to one of the biggest demographics that we get accused of hating and harping on is South Americans and Mexican immigrants, the Latino vote. Democrats are stubborn and not realizing that by hoarding all of they've got the upper hand in the sense that they know how to speak to them and get them to vote Democrat. But it shouldn't be that easy, because we practically give them that vote. I mean, let's be honest. They wanted them to be able to vote without registering as a citizen. They wanted illegal votes and no IDs. There should still be Republican check marks on the ballot. Why aren't they? You guys fail to realize that as conservatives and Republicans, that most of those people are Christian capitalists. If they knew better, they would not vote for these Marxist socialists and godless people. They wouldn't. Okay? And by godless, I don't mean like people that are agnostic or whatever. I mean people that will spit on you in the street for having a cross necklace on. They're out there. They think that you are scum of the earth. Well, at the same time, these people that do that, they're doing this. They don't realize it, but they're actually doing the same to these migrants, and that's funny. I mean, if you look at demographics of Mexico or South American countries, 98%, nearly 98% of the religious faith down there is either Roman Catholic or some version of Catholicism or Protestant. Widespread. We know they're capitalists because why are they coming here? What do you see when you go to those little areas where they're all living at? You see restaurants, you see tire shops, mechanic shops. They're opening businesses. They don't even know how to file the tax forms, and they're running businesses. Why aren't we talking to them? I mean, really, why not? There again, Republicans want to harp on the border. I get it. So do I. But something you'll never hear Democrats talk about is they want them in, they want them here, but you'll never hear them talking about making them citizens. Why do you think that is? And why haven't Republicans woke up to the fact that that needs to be talked about on the debate stage? And I'm not talking about lying to anybody. It it matters to me and it matters to Americans and it matters for the migrants. Honestly, they want them here for cheap labor. If they get turned citizen legally, they afford all of the rights and labor laws that are afforded to the rest of us and limitations. Right now, they're working in these Democrat owned corporations with no constitutional protections that they know of because they're not citizens. Why aren't we talking to these people about that? Defunding the police was stupid. We see how that's turned out. Even here in Jackson, it's just crap show. Pardon my French. But what have we offered? Nothing. Our policing system sucks. Our private prison industries suck. We've had governors in some states and mayors, and actually, there was a mayor in one city that was complaining because if they made marijuana legal, that there wouldn't be enough crime to fund the city. Excuse me? Marijuana, no marijuana aside, why is your city budget dependent on there being crime? I thought that we should be aiming to get rid of crime, period. You're dependent on crime? Is that why your police officers are going out begging people to sell them drugs? Or begging them to buy their drugs? To set them up for revenue? See, this is the kind of stuff, though, and it's not the police fault. It's not. It's the city boards and these other people in charge running the towns and the states' budget coffers dry, or embezzling the money, one or both, and then depending on the police to make up the revenue. If you cannot survive, if your country, your state, your city budget won't make it without crime and fear and disasters, you're doing something wrong. Okay? Complaining that crime is down and then going out to try to create some crime. This is why we were the defund the police thing started in the first place, was this kind of stuff. They're right. Their methodology is really bad. Their solutions are really bad. But they've got some good points that you guys need to listen to. Like, seriously. And it's not completely racial, like has been claimed. Poor white people, poor black people, poor everybody are falling victim to this stuff. My friend's son, 4 years old, was shot to death by two black police officers in Louisiana because the two officers were, for lack of a better word, shacking up with his fiance behind his back. They murdered him, and they attempted to murder his the kid's dad. Correction, they were trying to murder the kid's dad in the car. Unarmed, white guy, white as me. Didn't know that the 4 year old was in the car with him. On police cam, because they accidentally forgot to turn the cams off, shot him up with his arms hanging out the door of the car. Just like this. We're talking about hands up, don't shoot. It's like this. And then, of course, when bullets started flying through the car doors, flung over outside through the door. And then the door opened and he just fell out. So I get it. I do. It's not all racial like it's claimed, but there's a serious abuse of power sometimes, and it needs to be addressed. And it starts with it ends with the officers, but it starts in the board meetings and the mayor's offices and in the governor's offices. And you guys need to be presenting better solutions instead of just sticking your fingers in your ears. Because while the Democrats' solutions may suck, at least they're offering something, you know? Instead of all just sitting back going, no, 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 slow down whenever they come up with these gun laws that are unconstitutional. It'd be nice if somebody stepped up like, hey, you know what? We're not okay with these school shootings either. We're gonna put armed security in these schools, blah 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 blah. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. We're gonna make sure that citizens, where these gun crime rates are going rampant, have the right to self-defense to help the police officers cut down on crime. And they're not even on the payroll. How about that? And hey, studies and these women's rights and all this, studies show that dead rapists don't reoffend. You guys need to learn messaging. Seriously. Somebody needs to get up there on the debate stage and say, you know what? I'm tired of you Democrats trying to disarm colored people, as always, like you have for 100 years, and disarm disabled people, elderly people, and women. What happened to women's rights and women's protections? Stick it to them. I've got no problem with student loan interest forgiveness. The interest. You still took the loan out, but this interest, get rid of it. And I mean, you guys are not going to be able to, how do I phrase this? The pandemic lockdowns and all that, they were necessary in the beginning to a degree, but a lot of it was a show. A lot of it made absolutely no sense. And the next pandemic may not be excusable to ignore. There are bad things out there. With the ice in Antarctica melting, no, I don't think it's our fault, but it is melting. There are viruses and bacteria being released that we've not seen. Well, we've never seen it, but has not been out in the environment in eons. The same with the northern hemisphere. Um, so I mean, there are things that we know of that we play with all the time. The CDC accidentally lets loose. God knows overseas stuff gets loose. And that's all I'm going to say about that. We may not have the convenience of actually ignoring common sense rules about the next pandemic or next breakout. We need to stop acting like we can. And we need to stop the messaging that any degree of common sense is bad, okay? Nobody's going to vote for science deniers. And I know how that sounds. Viruses are real. The Black Plague was real. The Spanish flu was real. COVID was real. Okay? How we dealt with it sucked. How a lot of states dealt with it sucked. Okay? How we went full authoritarian sucked. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't real. And we need to stop the messaging to voters that we think that none of it's real. Okay? And that we're not capable of dealing with it in a common sense manner. They're not going to vote for that. Sorry. My mom didn't agree with lockdowns, but she was on oxygen. Just because you have common sense that some of these rules are stupid and don't make sense doesn't make it any less real, okay? So, there again, we like doing this or this, but what is our plan? What is our solution that we're bringing to the table? So, I'm just saying, Republicans, you get lax and you're like, yay, we got plenty of people going to vote. I had a long day at work. I'm going to the house. How did that work out? How did it work out in 2020? And yeah, there was some nefarious things and rule changing going on. But if we'd have gotten out and gotten voters that were otherwise ignorant of a lot of facts or not that interested perhaps in going out and voting, but we could have gotten them to vote. It wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered. The 2% of people that cheated, it wouldn't have even mattered. We didn't do it. So, and we don't learn. We get hyped up. Oh, red wave, red wave, red wave. I had to tell y'all it takes a lot of water molecules to make a red wave. So, what happened? They mustered up more votes than any president in American history for a potato. What happened? 40% of people vote normally. That's what happened. They went and they got about 20% more uninterested people that could have cared less. And they got those votes. That's what happened. They got the Latino votes from people that have never spoken to a conservative in their lives since crossing the border. That's what happened. And we let them do it. Y'all let them do it. We all let them do it. And we didn't do it. So, y'all can get mad. Y'all can throw a fit about every aspect of American voting policy. But I'm sorry, if it's legal, why aren't y'all doing it? And if it should be illegal, okay, well, we can work to change those rules. But till then, I'm sorry, if I'm in a race or I'm running races and at track day, running nitrous is fair game, I might not like it, but I'm sorry, I'm cracking that bottle open. So, our big tires, whatever, running big tire. It's 5 bolts on each wheel. Change the wheels and tires out for that track day. Like, what are we doing? We're losing. That's what we're doing. On what? Like principle? If it's legal, it's not cheating. I mean, they're educating kids on all this stuff like they did us. Kids, prepping them. This is why I remember they, I got ridiculed saying that if I was 18, I'd vote for Bush. Back in 2000, well, the year 2000 actually. 22 years ago. So you don't think they're doing it now? They're in the streets doing it, and it worked. So what are y'all doing? They were going to pay me $12 an hour to go around getting votes. If it had been in a state where, like, Kari Lake was this close, if it had been in a state like that, one more person canvassing, or one person canvassing at all, could have turned the tables, could have won more of the House. Maybe the Senate, who knows? Maybe Speaker of the House. Or a different Speaker of the House. All we can worry about now is 2024. And I hope that y'all have learned. And if you're 100% Trump and Trump doesn't make it through primaries, I don't give a shit. Go vote for DeSantis. And vice versa. If you're fed up with Trump, he's just got too much baggage on him now, and he makes it through primaries, I don't care. No, you know what? Don't vote for either one of them. Vote for Americans and America's interests. The economy, liberty, democracy is under attack. Absolutely, and thank God for it. Democracy is mob rule. So when they say that, they're not lying. You say, oh, they're full of it. They're not full of it. Their democracy is under attack. Democracy is mob rule. Translation: our mob rule is under attack. There's a reason this was supposed to be a balanced hybrid of a constitutional republic, representative government, for one, representative of all the states' various cultures, to allow us to retain those separate various cultures while being unified. We laugh at the Soviet Union and we call it BS. Why? I mean, other than the Marxist takeover aspect of it, but really, it's just another word for a republic or a union like the European Union. It works better. If democracy wins and becomes an absolute democracy, we're done for. It'll only be a matter of time where we're killing each other in the streets. Nobody will be happy. You can't represent all the cultures and all that with one government and one set of policies all the time. It just it's numbers. It's a numbers game. It's impossible. It's like saying I'm going to love all my kids the most more than all the others at the same time. Doesn't make any sense. It's going to be one kid happy and everybody else miserable. That or everybody equally miserable. So that's all I'm going to say about all of it. Um, we deserved it. We deserved to lose. Y'all deserve to lose. America lost. We didn't completely lose, but America lost in 2020. And it'll only get worse. Right now, all we can do is put the brakes on, but we can't repeal anything. We'll never get anything passed. And they continually keep passing gun laws. Ran into more of them today myself, and I've never stepped foot in a jail cell. I've never been in the back of a police car. Ever. And in an open carry state with little or nothing. I mean, running the background check took me going to MDOT online, re-updating my license was had 2 years left just because I moved addresses and accidentally put our address instead of my 36 years of permanent address at my parents'. Whoops. It's on my driver's license still because it's an 8-year license. Oh, that's a new Biden law that got slipped under the table apparently, according to the gun shop. Never had to do that before. Um, and now, when you buy a gun with a credit card and not cash, the gun shop has to notify the credit card company. What? Oh, and HIPAA be damned, but now minors and adults' medical records are available in the NICS system. That's going into effect soon too. Biden slipped that one in probably with the Inflation Act. HIPAA violations. Yep, for red flag laws, remember? Is his son sitting in prison for lying on the federal firearms background check? Nope. Just saying. You know why? Because then he'd also get blacklisted and he couldn't get on a plane. But whatever. We're just tired of it. We're tired of that stuff. But what are we going to do about it? It's going to take more than getting up and putting one check mark. You're missing out on a whole voter base, or 3 or 4. So get out there. Learn from these experiences. Learn from your opponents. And stop vilifying yourselves by demonizing everybody else. Now is not the time. I told you how.